Mike McHugh, are you here?
I'm here.
All right, thank you.
I'm here.
Randy Jensen, are you on? Jensen, are you on? Randy Jensen, are you on the line? Jensen, are you on the line? Okay, Randy, can you hear us?
Yes.
All right. We can start the meeting if you'd like. Randy, can you hear us?
Yes.
Good evening and welcome to the Brookings County Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. This meeting is being recorded, televised, and viewable on Swiftel Channel 19, ITC Channel 168, or the Brookings County YouTube channel.
Meeting is being recorded.
I now call this meeting to order. First, the agenda item is approval of minutes. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Vanderwall. Second by Erickson. Or do we have to do a roll call attendance?
Yep, we gotta do a roll call here. I'll do a roll call attendance here for those here in person and those online. Larry Jensen,
Yes.
Mike McHugh,
Here.
Daryl Nelson,
Yes.
Daryl Kleinjohn,
Aye.
Kyle Vanderwall,
Yes.
Yes.
Roger Erickson, Chad Ford.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 8 members present this evening, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Back to the approval of minutes. Can I still run with the motion by Vanderwall and Erickson?
Yes.
Motion by Vanderwall, second by Erickson. Would you call roll call vote, please?
Jensen,
Yes.
McHugh,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Kleinjohn,
Aye.
Kyle Vanderwall,
Aye.
Randy Jensen,
Yes.
Roger Erickson, Chad Ford.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Agenda item number 3, items to be added to the agenda by commission members or staff. Is there anything?
Yes, Chairman, the staff would like to put discussion of changing the date of the November planning meeting due to the election.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else? Agenda item number 4, invitation for citizens to schedule a time on the commission agenda for an item not listed. Seeing none, agenda item number 5, disclosure of conflicts of interest, relationships to applicant or ex parte communication.
I'd like to recuse myself from item 12.
Okay. Anything else? Is there a motion for approval of the agenda?
So moved.
Motion by Vanderwall,
Second.
second by Klein John. Need to do a roll call vote on that, an approval of agenda.
McHugh,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Darrell Kleinjohn,
Aye.
Kyle Vanderwall,
Aye.
Randy Jensen,
Yes.
Roger Erickson, Larry Jensen,
Yes.
and Chad Ford.
Yes.
Motion passes.
We will now convene as the Brookings County Planning and Zoning Commission. I now call this meeting to order and would like to welcome those in attendance at tonight's meeting. The Brookings County Planning and Zoning Commission is a 9-member commission whose function is to recommend approval or disapproval of land use plans, zoning ordinances, subdivisions, or amendments thereof the Brookings County Commission. The commission makes its recommendation based upon the adopted comprehensive plan for the physical development of the unincorporated areas of Brookings County. As a matter of policy, all motions are made in the positive. After a motion is moved and seconded, it is open for debate. Those supporting the motion shall in turn give their reasons. Those opposing the motion shall in turn give their reasons. After everyone has been given a chance to be heard, the commission shall recommend approval or disapproval based on the testimony and information presented. A simple majority vote of a quorum of members of the Planning and Zoning Board in attendance is required to forward the recommendation. Agenda item 2020 Plat 021, plat of Weiss Edition in the northwest 1/4 of Section 24, Township 109 North, Range 52W of the 5th Primary Reading, Brookings County, South Dakota. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion. Second by Erickson. Richard, would you read the staff report?
Yes, 2020 Plat 021, Carla Weiss is platting off 16.7 acres of an existing building site from the 160 acres that they own. And the building site consists of the house, barn, pole sheds, a detached garage, and smaller outer buildings. Then we'll use the existing driveway on 459th Avenue for access. And it meets the platting requirements of the 2016 Comprehensive Plan of the unincorporated rural areas of the ag use. Copy of the plat. Kind of L-shaped a little bit there around the trees. This is what the plat looks like on the parcel. Going around here is some pasture ground to the south, 16.7 acres. Just the beacon map showing the full parcel. Right here, this is the Sinai Road. This is the curve going west into Sinai over here. And that's all that I have.
Is the applicant here on the phone?
The applicant is not here tonight.
Okay. I will now open the public portion of the hearing. Is there anybody in the audience on the phone for this? Seeing and hearing none, I will close that. Now, is there anybody in the audience on the phone against this? Seeing and hearing none, I will close the public portion of the hearing. Is there any additional comments or questions from members of the board? Seeing and hearing none, Richard, would you call a vote?
Nelson,
Okay.
Daryl Kleinjohn,
Aye.
Kyle Vanderwall,
Aye.
Randy Jensen,
Yes.
Roger Erickson,
Aye.
Larry Jensen,
Yes.
Mike McHugh,
Aye.
Chad Ford.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Agenda item 2020 Plat 022. Plat of Lot 1, Doll Addition in the southwest 1/4 of Section 2, Township 110 North, Range 51W of the 5th Prime Meridian, Brookings County, South Dakota. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by
Second.
Vanderwall, second by, who had that? Second by Larry Jensen. Richard, would you read staff report?
I got lost in the paper shuffle. Plat 2020, Plat 021, Brad Dahl is platting off 1.9 acres of an existing building site for a property line adjustment, as it is already deeded off with a footage description. The property line adjustment will include more of the shelter belt and less of the farm ground, thus creating the odd-shaped lot that cannot be described with the footage description. And there will use the existing driveway off 209th Street for access to the property. This is the plat right here, the dimensions of the 1.9 acres. The red line is the new plat, the new boundaries on there. This blue line is the existing footage description. So it's making it a little odd shaped and hard to describe with the footage description. That reason for the plat and the new boundaries. There's just the beacon map showing the existing description and outline of the property. And that's all that I have. The applicant is not here this evening.
Okay, we'll now open the public portion of the hearing. Is there anybody in the phone, or on, in the audience or on the phone for this? Seeing and hearing none, is there anybody in the audience or on the phone against this? Seeing and hearing none, I will now close the public portion of the hearing. Is there any additional comments or questions from members of the board? Seeing and hearing none, Richard, would you call for a vote?
Daryl Kleinjohn. Aye. Kyle Vanderwall.
Aye.
Randy Jensen.
Yes.
Roger Erickson.
Aye.
Larry Jensen.
Yes.
Mike McHugh.
Aye.
Daryl Nelson.
Aye.
Motion passes. Oh, Chad, sorry.
Yes.
Okay, now motion passes.
Agenda item 2020 Plat 023, plat of lots 1 and 2 of Oppold Addition in the northwest 1/4 of Section 3, Township 109 North, Range 48W of the 5th Prime Meridian, Brookings County, South Dakota. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Vanderwall,
Second.
second by Erickson. Richard, would you read the staff report?
Yes, 2020 Plat 023, Margaret A. Appelt Trust is platting off Lot 1, which consists of 48.3 acres of pasture, and Lot 2 contains 112.5 acres of farm ground, and it's located in the northwest 1/4 of Section 3 in Parnell Township. And both Lots 1 and 2 are buildable sites for a residence as they exceed the 35 acres. Here's the plat. As noted, you can see this is the farm ground, irregular shape following the boundary of the pasture going along here. This is Lot 2 with 112.5, Lot 1 with 48.3, and majority of this is in the floodplain, and there's a high area where these trees are, which would be a buildable site for a new residence if they so desire. Just a beacon map showing the entire parcel in its entirety with the proposed plat outline there following the boundary of the pasture. And that's all that I have. The applicant is not here this evening. This is the floodplain just showing here for your information there, so. Well,
Okay.
that's all that I have.
I'll now open the public portion of the hearing. Is there anybody in the audience or on the phone for this? Seeing none, is there anybody in the audience or on the phone against this? Seeing none, I will now close the public portion of the hearing. Is there any additional comments or questions from members of the board? Seeing and hearing none, Richard, would you call a vote?
Kyle Vanderwall,
Aye.
Randy Jensen,
Yes.
Roger Erickson,
Aye.
Larry Jensen,
Yes.
Mike McHugh,
Aye.
Darrell Nelson,
Aye.
Darrell Kleinjohn,
Aye.
Chad Ford.
Yes.
Motion passes.
We will now convene as the Brookings County Board of Adjustment. The Board of Adjustment is a 9-member board which has the power to hear requests for variances, conditional uses, and appeals from non-ministerial decisions of zoning to the zoning officer. A concurring vote of 2/3 of the full board members of the full board membership of the board, 6 votes is necessary for approval of a variance or an appeal of the zoning officer. The concurring vote of a simple majority of those board members present and voting is necessary for approval of a conditional use permit. In accordance with Robert's Rules of Order, we require a motion to approve a request before it can be requested and before the request can be debated. As a matter of policy, all motions are to be made in a positive. The board, under specific powers granted to it by the state, shall authorize variances from zoning requirements where special conditions existing on the land will result in an unnecessary hardship for the applicant. Financial disadvantage to the property owner shall not constitute proof of unnecessary hardship. Agenda item 2020 variance 018. Michael Moe by Sean Knapp has made an application 2020 variance 018 to the Brookings County Board of Adjustment for a variance, Article 4 District Requirements, Chapter 4.03 LP Lake Park District, Section 4.03.03, Density, Area, and Yard Regulation, Minimum Lake Front and Minimum Side Yard. The property is described as Lot 7 of DeBoers Lake Tatonka subdivision in government lots 5 and 6 of the southeast 1/4 of Section 7 Township 111 North Range 51W, Oakwood Township, located at 7 Oakwood Shoreline Drive, Bruce, South Dakota 57220. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Vanderwall,
Second.
second by Erickson. Richard, would you read the staff report?
Yes, I'll just make this, for variance, we need a 2/3 vote of our full membership, which would be 6 votes needed to pass this item this evening. And this evening, we have 8 members present. So we'd still need 6 votes for this to pass. I will just ask the applicant if they'd like to proceed with the 8 members that we have here this evening, or if they would like to table it until next month to see if we have a full board. Mr. Moe, did you hear that?
Yes.
Could you, I'm sorry, could you repeat that, please?
It takes a 2/3 vote of our full membership, which a full board is 9 members, and it takes 6 votes in the positive to pass it. And this evening, we have 8 members, and it would still take 6 votes for it to pass, so we'll leave that
We're
up to
not
you.
able to address this tonight.
If you would like to proceed, we can proceed with this, yes. Just letting you know it's your option if you want to proceed this evening, or if you'd like to wait until we have a full board and have 9 members on here, so.
All right, Sean, do you have any input?
Yeah. Yes, I think we should proceed.
Okay, okay, yes.
All right.
Let's proceed.
we will proceed as this evening then with the vote. All right, 2020 variance 018, Michael Moe by Sean Knapp has applied for variance to build a new 36-foot wide by 29-foot long house with a 21 by 26 attached garage, 32 feet from the highest known watermark and 5 feet from the side property line, which is a variance of 43 feet from the highest known watermark and a variance of 3 feet from the side property line. Lake Park setbacks for the lakefront are 75 feet from the highest known watermark and 8 feet from the side property line. The current cabin is a 16 by 24, and it was built in the 1960s and will be removed. Some things to consider is our DuBois Lake Titankaha subdivision was originally platted on October 3rd, 1984, and replatted on October 10th, 2020. On the shape and the size of the lot, it is 49.8 feet at the road in width and 42.7 feet at the lake, which makes it pie-shaped. And it does meet the comprehensive plan use for the lake's development use on Lake Campbell, Lake Hendricks, Lake Titankaha, Lake Ponset, and will experience development and growth in variance degrees. Letters were sent to the adjoining landowners, the Oakwood Township Chairman and Clerk, and public notices were published in the Brookings Register on October 22nd and 29th, 2020, and the Volga Tribune on September 24th and October 1st, 2020. There's the variance application. There is his site plan. This is looking towards the lake. Be 32 feet from here. This would be from the outermost post of the 12 by deck that would be on the edge of the house here, 12 by 36, I believe it is. This would be the west side, which would be the variance. It would be 5 foot from the west property line. It will meet the 8-foot setback on the east side, and the road setback of 25 feet from the road. This is just a plat of the lot, showing that it is 49.8 at the road, 42.8 on the lake side, and 115 on the east and 130 on the west side. So it is a little pie-shaped, a little longer on the west side than the east side. Here's the beacon map showing the lot in the outside outlined yellow area. The red area is a floodplain, which the structure of the house will be out of the floodplain, but they will still need to do a floodplain development permit to with the elevations to prove that it's not in there. This is just the lot showing without the red area showing the floodplain there. There's some photos of the area. This is looking towards the east from the road. Oakwood Shoreline Drive right here. And this is looking from the road towards the north. The wheel is at 25 feet from the road. This is looking from the east side of the lot towards the west. And this is where 25 feet would be, just past the edge of the little storage shed that's there. This is down on the lake side. The wheel here is at 32 feet from the high water mark. This is looking from the west, looking to the east. This other picture here is looking from the east, or from the east looking towards the west. As you can see, the house will be behind the other structure to the west of them, so it will not obstruct the view. And this is the view from the lake shore looking towards the south, towards the cabin. And that's there's a pin right here that's been brought to our attention that pin may not be in the right correct location. So there may be a requirement of a survey of the property to determine the proper set of that pin. And I measured from this pin over 8 feet is where, from that pin to where the wheel is 8 feet from the side property line to give you a distance. But that pin may not be in the right location. And this is just looking back towards the east there. This is from the high water mark. And measuring from this pin here, I measured west 42.5 feet approximately to give you approximate where the west side of the lot would be, to give you approximation of where that would be. This would be the end of the lot, and this would be with the 3-foot variance right here on this next picture, so it would be 5 feet from the property line. This is just looking to the east along the shore. It's open and will not obstruct the view going to the east. And this is just looking towards the west. Property lines back here in the house, the proposed structure, and will not obstruct the view up or down the lake on either side. We did receive some comments when they come to that time during your public hearing. I will read those comments we received. Another thing is the variance is granted and going to use the existing septic system. If that system should ever fail or need to be replaced due to the shape and the size of the lot, it would have to be replaced with a sealed holding tank. So, and part of those requirements I have added to the findings of facts for your determination if you would like them in there this evening. So, and that's all that I have.
Thank you. The applicant's on the phone. Is there anything that you would like to add to what Richard said?
There was a survey done, so the question regarding the pin, I think you mentioned it was very difficult to hear. I think you mentioned something about the pin maybe being in the wrong place. The survey has been done, so that is corrected or being corrected.
Okay, thank you. Yep, the one at the pin that was there when I took the pictures was visible out of the ground. It was kind of eroded around it, and it was brought to our attention. So that's good. If we have that done already, that's a good step.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anything else? Hearing none, I'll now open the public portion of the hearing. Is there anybody in the audience or on the phone that is for this?
Yes. Received an email from Cecilia Tucker. Good afternoon. This was received on September 30th. They're neighbors with Mike and Lori Nelson Moe on Lake Oakwood, cabin number 7. We have no objection to their building project that they have planned. Let us know if you need anything further from us pertaining to the project. Kindly regards, Cecilia Tucker. There's another one here from Todd Agee. They had sent this in. We have no objections to the Mo's request. Please allow Mike to build the structure per his wishes. Todd Agee. We actually received two notices from them. This one, and then also a day or two later, we received a email, I believe, and or a letter. Yep. Detention zoning officer, we, Todd and Joanne Egge, own cabin number 8, located at 8 Oakwood Shoreline Drive. We are neighbors to the west of Mike Moe and Lori Nelson Moe, located at 7 Oakwood Shoreline Drive. We have no objection to their variance request due to their pie-shaped lot to reduce the setback on the west side of their structure from 8 feet to 5 feet. We express our full support and grant our consent for this request. Sincerely, Todd Agee, Joanne Agee. Dennis DeBoer did also call in and just was concerned, wondering what the applicant was, and once we explained it to him, he was satisfied with what they were going to be doing and just had concerns on removal of the existing structure and the sewer system. So we explained to him we would address that this evening.
Okay. Is there anybody else in the audience or on the phone that is for this? Seeing none, is there anybody in the audience or on the phone that opposes this? Seeing and hearing none, I will now close the public portion of the hearing and move to the board. Is there any additional comments or questions from members of the board? Seeing and hearing none, Richard, would you read the findings of the facts?
Yes, I'll read this and then we'll. Variance 2020 VAR 018, an application for a variance having been filed with the Brookings County Zoning Commission, acting as a Brookings County Board of Adjustment, a copy of the application being attached here too. Such application be made by Michael Moe regarding the following real property. Lot 7 of DeBoer's Lake Titankaha subdivision and government lots 5 and 6, the southeast 1/4 of Section 7, Township 111 North, Range 51 West, Oakwood Township. After due notice, a public hearing have been held on the application on the 6th day of October 2020. Number one, the Brookings County Board of Adjustment hereby findings that the strict application of the Brookings County zoning ordinance would produce undue hardship, that such hardship is not shared generally by other properties in the same zoning district and that the same vicinity, and that the authorization of such a variance will not be substantial detriment to the adjacent property and the character of the district will not be changed by the granting of the variance. And that granting of such variance is based upon reasons of demonstrable and exceptional hardship as distinguished from variations for the purpose of convenience, profit, and caprice. Number two, the Brookings County Board of Adjustment further finding that the conditions or situation of the property concerned or the intended use of the property is not so general or recurring of nature as to make reasonable the practical formulation of the general regulation be adopted as an amendment to the zoning ordinance. Number three, the Brookings County Board of Adjustment further finding that the written application of the petitioner demonstrates that special conditions or circumstances exist which are peculiar to the land, structure, or buildings in the same district, that literal interpretations of the provisions of the Brookings County zoning ordinance would deprive the applicant of rights commonly enjoyed by other properties in the same district. Under the terms of the ordinance, that the special conditions or circumstances do not result from the actions of the applicant, that granting of the variance request will not confer on the applicant any special privilege that is denied by the ordinance to other lands, structures, or buildings in the same district. Number four, the Brookings County Board of Adjustment further finding that the reasons set forth in the application justify the granting of the variance and that the variance is a minimum variance that will make possible the reasonable use of the land, building, or structures, that the granting of the variance will be in harmony with the general purpose and the intent of the Brookings County zoning ordinance and will not be injurious to the neighborhood or otherwise detrimental to the public welfare. Number five, the Brookings County Board of Adjustment further determines and conditions this variance upon the following special conditions or safeguards. A, shape and size of lot. B, DeBoer's Lake Titankaha subdivision was platted on October 30th, 1984, and replatted on October 10th, 2002. These are the two items that, the three items I added this evening. C, due to the small lot area, this variance is contingent upon the applicant agreeing to replace the existing septic system with a sealed holding tank should the existing system fail or no longer work properly. D, due to questions of accuracy of the property boundaries based on observed conditions of the property pins. Before a building permit may be issued, a survey site map showing the setbacks and the property dimensions must be submitted with the building permit application to verify the proposed structure will meet the setbacks established by this variance. And E, the existing home is to be moved off or destroyed. If it is destroyed, the rubble must be hauled to the landfill. The Brookings County Board of Adjustment, at least 2/3 vote of its full membership, hereby grants the above petitioner a variance for the above describable property as follows. Build a new residence 43 feet from the highest known watermark on the lake side and 43 feet and 5 feet from the west side of the property line. This variance is specifically conditioned upon initial and continued compliance with all the conditions and safeguards in 5 above, upon compliance with all applicable provisions of the Brookings County zoning ordinance. If approved, the Brookings County zoning director would be authorized to issue any required building permits for construction consistent with the terms of this variance. Is that 43, is that right? And this last item here, there's been some extensive happenings out in the county where the buildings have been hauled off and burned with the shingles and stuff on there to another site, and just trying to alleviate that. If the shingles are removed, they could be hauled off separately to the landfill, and the rest of it could be burned at another site, but just wanted to check with that too. And it is 32 feet from the highest known watermark, I'm sorry. But if you wanted to have that requirement in there, I'll leave it up to the board, to your discretion on there. How you wanted to do that, if they take the shingles off, or anything that has hydrocarbons in there that produces a black smoke, and haul that material to the landfill, and they could haul the burnable material to another site and burn it, or if you just want it all hauled to the landfill, that's up to your discretion here this evening. But that's all that I have right now.
I'd say just leave it the way it is. being said, Richard, would you call vote?
Randy Jensen,
Yes.
Roger Erickson,
Aye.
Larry Jensen,
Yes.
Mike McHugh,
Aye.
Daryl Nelson,
No.
Daryl Kleinjohn,
Aye.
Kyle Vanderwall,
Aye.
Chad Ford.
Yes.
Motion passes on 7 ayes, 1 no.
Agenda item 20,
Sign those 2 of them there. I'll get this.
agenda item 2020 CU 019. Delane Dock Canals has made an application 2020 CU 019 to the Brookings County Board of Adjustment for conditional use Article 11, Section 11.01A Agricultural District. Conditional use permit number 5A, rock crushers. The property is described as the northeast 1/4, northeast 1/4, excluding lot H1 and excluding that part lying east and north of lot H1 in section 14, township 109 north, range 50W, Madera Township, located at 21625 471st Avenue, Brookings, South Dakota 57006. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Vanderwall,
Second.
second by Erickson. Richard, would you read the staff report?
Yes, 2020 conditional use 019, Doc Delane Canals has applied for a conditional use number 5A for a rock crusher. Crushed used concrete that is hauled into his property, well, above described real property. The applicant has been granted a crushing permit several times over the last 13 years, starting in 2007, CU 020 for a 30-day permit. 2007 CU 020A had a 30-day extension to that permit. In 2008 CU 004 is for a 6-month crushing permit. In 2009 conditional use 002, he had a 1-year crushing permit. And then in 2010 CU 001 for a 5-year crushing permit, which expired on February 1st, 2015. And conditional use 2015 CU 012 was for 5 years, and it actually expires October 6, 2020 today. The applicant did submit a plan here and anticipated the area where the concrete material and stock is piled in the crushing area, and the crushed stockpile will be the same general location as previously. The proposed site is over the Zone B of the aquifer materials map, meaning that the presence of sand and gravel is 0 to 50 feet below land surface. The proposed site is not in the floodplain, and we did make a site visit to the proposed site. Public notices were published in the Brookings Register on September 22nd and 29th, 2020, and letters were sent to the adjoining landowners, the Madera Township Chairman and Clerk, and the Brookings County Highway Department. And we received no comment from the adjoining landowners or the government entities that were sent to. This is conditional use permit application. Showing the area, it's the yellow area, which means it's in the Zone B. The other beacon map showing the area. This is the crushing site, driveway right here. Material will be stacked back in this area. There was pictures. This is just looking from the driveway looking south, clear view there. This is looking north. It's a pretty straight shot between there and the curve. There is existing trucks entering signs on either side of the driveway, I believe, from the prior crushing permit that happened there. This is just looking in from the driveway towards the west. Some material stacked back here. This is straight west. This is to the northwest. The crush pile. This is a stock pile back here. I did receive his developed business plan here. I will look at that in just a second. Right here, he planned to crush the existing pile late October, early November, and it could be possibly the last time as he's looking at a different zoning and use for the site now occupied by the concrete plant. Future of crushing is going to be based on the availability of raw materials, and a new pile will be placed farther away from the highway. And you're looking at 5 years, I believe, we were talking, correct, Doc, when we were visiting on this? All right, thank you. And that's all that I have at this time. And the applicant is here this evening.
I guess if the applicant would step forward, state your name and
Any questions?
do you have anything to add to what Richard said?
Not really, just, this was an idea I had a long time ago, and now there's a lot of competition in the business, and, to stay ahead, you always need a new idea. And I'd just like to get cleaned up what's there, and if we have availability, maybe on a project in the next few years where we could bring it in, it'll no longer be stockpiled. It'll be crushed immediately upon entering and leave again. Everybody fights over it now.
Okay,
I just want to have the ability to clean up what I have.
Oh, boy.
okay. I will now open the public portion of the hearing. Is there anybody in the audience or on the phone for this?
We received no comments.
Is there anybody in the audience or on the phone that is against this? Seeing and hearing none, I will now close the public portion of the hearing. Move to the board for additional comments and questions.
We got one.
Hearing none from the members of the board, Richard, would you read the findings of the facts?
Yes, I'll read this here in its entirety, and the other ones this evening, I'll just read the highlighted areas, so you'll have to bear with me on the first one here. Brookings County zoning conditional use permit number 2020 CU 019, application for conditional use permit, having been filed with the Brookings County Zoning Commission, acting as a Brookings County Board of Adjustment, a copy of the application being attached thereto. Such application being made by Delane Doc Knaus regarding the following real property: northeast 1/4, except lot H1 and except that part lying east and north of lot H1 in section 14, township 109 north, range 50 west, Madera Township. After due notice of public hearing have been held on the application on the 6th day of October 2020. Number one, the Brookings County Zoning Commission hereby finding that it is empowered to grant such a conditional use under the following sections of the Brookings County Zoning Ordinance. Article 11, Section 1101.01, A Agricultural District, conditional use number 5A, and further finding that the granting of the conditional use will not adversely affect the public interest. The Brookings County Zoning Commission further finds and certifies that the following specific rules governing the conditional use required have been complied with. A, dust control. If dust produces visibility problems on County 77, operations will cease. B, permit valid till October 6, 2025. C, weed control as required by the zoning office. Number 3, Brookings County Zoning Commission further finds that the satisfactory provisions, agreements, and arrangements have been made concerning the following real property. A, entrance and exits to the property proposed structures therein with particular reference to automotive, pedestrian safety, convenience, traffic flow, control, and access in case of fire or catastrophe. We use existing entrance on 471st Avenue, otherwise known as Brookings County Highway 77. We'll have used and have entrance gates installed and padlocked. B, off-street parking and loading areas were required with particular attention to items in A above and economic noise, glare, or other effects of the special exception for conditional use on adjoining properties, generally in the district. No on-street parking allowed. C, utilities, refuge, and service areas with reference to locations, availability, and compatibility. Dumpster service for garbage disposal. None stated. D, screening and buffering with reference to type, dimensions, and character. None stated. E, signs, if any, and proposed exterior lighting with reference to glare, traffic safety, economic effect, compatibility, and harmony with properties in the district. Requirements, 32 square foot sign allowed, and any required safety signs. Signs will conform to the current zoning ordinance. F, required yards and other open spaces. Spraying of weeds before they go to seed. Monitor weed growth and weed control by spraying, mowing, or tilling by permit holder or designated professional sprayer service. 2, new material may need to be placed towards the west and northern portions of the property. G, general compatibility with adjacent properties and other property in the district. Comprehensive plan requirements met for the agricultural district. H, roads providing access to the property are adequate to meet the transportation demands of the proposed conditional use. The Board of Adjustment may require the applicant to enter into a written contract with any affected township or other government unit regarding the upgrading and continued maintenance of any roads for conditional use requested prior to the issuance of a conditional use. Number 1, truck entering signs will be used when trucks are hauling in or out of the crushing site. I, any required notifications to law enforcement or the fire department? None stated. Any safety inspections required? None stated. Number 4, the Brookings County Zoning Commission determines that the conditions of the conditional use upon the following additional special conditions or safeguards. The setbacks. Crushing will be 50 feet from the side property lines, 100 feet from any public right-of-way, and 200 feet from any residence. B, dust control such as magnesium chloride or like products in the driveway, entrance, exit, loading areas, in front of residents, farms, along the haul route as needed. If dust produces visibility problems on 471st Avenue, otherwise known as Brookings County Highway 77, operations will cease. And I'm not sure we can adjust this if you want, Doc. This is a standard that we've kind of adopted for our crushing and mining operations. Hours of operation 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Saturday. If that works for you, we can leave those in there, but D, truck entering road signs on the haul route, which are required. Entrance gate to be closed and padlocked when not hauling material in or out or crushing. Only concrete is allowed to be hauled in and crushed. No other products or materials may be hauled or stored on the site. The conditional use is good for 5 years and expires October 6th, 2025. The Brookings County Zoning Commission, by at least 2/3 vote of its full membership, hereby grants the above petitioner conditional use for the above described property as follows. Conditional use number 5A, rock crusher. This conditional use permit is specifically conditioned upon initial continued compliance with all the requirements and conditions in 3 and 4 of above, upon compliance with all applicable provisions of the Brookings County zoning ordinance. If approved, the Brookings County zoning director is authorized to issue any required building permits for construction consistent with the requirements of this conditional use permit. This conditional use permit is not used within 3 years of the date granted, it shall be invalid, expiring October 6, 2023. Dated the 6th day of October, 2020.
Anybody have anything to add or check, change? Seeing none, Richard, would you call the vote?
Randy Jensen.
Yes.
Roger Erickson.
Aye.
Larry Jensen,
Yes.
Michael McHugh,
Aye.
Darrell Nelson,
Aye.
Darrell Kleinjohn,
Aye.
Kyle Vanderwall,
Aye.
Chad Ford.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. And I would hope that you all pray for an end to this virus, because this is an eerie situation here tonight.
Yes, thank you, Doc.
Agenda item 2020 CU 020. Christian Wishay. I don't know if I said that right. Sorry.
Witchy.
Witchy has made an application 2020 CU 020 to the Brookings County Board of Adjustment for conditional use Brookings Joint Jurisdiction Area Article 4 Agricultural, Residential, and Floodplain and Aquifer District, Section 405A, Agricultural District, Section 408, Special Exemption Number 18, Extended Home Occupations, and Brookings County Zoning Ordinance, Article 11, Section 11.01A, Agricultural District, Conditional Use Permit Number 20, Home Extended Business. The property is described as outlot 1 in southeast 1/4, southeast 1/4, and lot 4 of lots 1, 2, 3, and 4 of Barnett's subdivision of the southeast 1/4, section 7, township 110 north, range 49W, Aurora Township, located at 3113 34th Avenue, Brookings, South Dakota, 57006. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Vanderwall,
Second.
second by Erickson.
Yes, 2020 conditional use 020. Christian Witchy has applied for conditional use for a home extended business for a dog kennel to board dogs. Their property consists of 1.7 acres with a house, pole shed, detached garage, and a fenced yard. They're located within the joint jurisdiction area, just north of the US Highway 14 bypass at the intersection of 34th Avenue and 30th Street. 34th Avenue runs on the east side of the Swistel Center, and 30th Street goes towards the landfill, and both are blacktop roads. Their business plan is attached, and a plan to start with weekend boarding and expand if the demand is there to a maximum number of 30 dogs or animals there at any one time. The kennel will be located inside the insulated pole shed with a fenced yard with lockable gates for the exercise area. They have designated drop-off and pickup times, so not everyone will be there at the same time. The drop-off point will use their existing driveway and yard. They could also use 30th Street, which is just directly to the south of their place in front of their house, which is a gravel road for alternative parking and pickup and drop-off becomes an issue. The City of Brookings Planning and Zoning Department was advised of the conditional use application and has no objections to the conditional use request. The applicant has spoken with their neighbors to the north of them, and they have no objections, and they did speak to the neighbors to the west of them, and they have no objections either. And public notices were published in the Brookings Register on September 22nd and 29th, 2020, and letters were sent to the adjoining landowners, the Aurora Township Chairman and Clerk, and the Brookings County Highway Department. Here's the conditional use request application. This would be the road. Nope, road would be out here. This would be 30th Avenue, 34th would be here. House, pole shed, yard, exercise area. This is another detached garage over here. Garden and well would be to the north of the house. Their business plan as stated, let you read that for yourself. This is the beacon map. They're showing there's 34th Avenue, 30th Street going here. This is their driveway going into their property. This would be the alternative drop-off and pickup point if it was congested back in here. Pickup and delivery time, drop-off time. This is just looking south towards there's a stop sign right there towards the south, and there's a gravel road right here. This is looking towards the north. This is looking west from 34th Avenue into their driveway. This is just looking from the intersection of 30th Street and 34th off to the northwest. Just shows their big yard, house, ample area for exercising and whatnot. This is just looking from 30th Street, looking towards the north, house, the existing fence, exercise area in there. And it's a tall fence. So that's all that I have.
Thank you. Applicant has stepped forward. Would you state your name and if you have anything to add to Richard's report?
Kristen Witchy.
Greg Witchy.
Richard pretty much covered it. As you did see, that we do have a little bit of gravel in front of our house. We already do have whatever that chemical is that's sprayed on our
Fluoride.
roads, so the increased traffic should not cause any additional dust issues. We do intend to start small. We both do have full-time jobs, so we want to start small, kind of a weekend sort of boarding facility. But if it did grow into something more, obviously we have room to expand with our existing buildings.
Okay. I'll now open the public portion of the hearing. Is there anybody in the audience or on the phone that is for this? Hearing none. Is there anybody in the audience or on the phone that is against this? Hearing none, I will now close the public portion of the hearing. Is there any additional comments or questions from members of the board? Hearing none, Richard, would you read the findings of the facts?
I will just read the highlighted areas and we'll continue on from the conditional use permit 2020 CU020, application for the conditional use permit having been filed with the Brookings County Zoning Commission, acting as the Brookings County Board of Adjustment. The copy of the application being attached hereto. Such application being made by Kristen Ritchie regarding the following real property. Outlot 1 in the southeast of the southeast 1/4 of Lot 4 of lots 1, 2, and 3, and Lot 4 of Barnett subdivision of the southeast 1/4, Section 7, Township 110 North, Range 49 West, Aurora Township. After due notice, a public hearing having been held on the application on the 6th day of October, 2020. The Brookings County Board of Adjustment finding that it is empowered to grant such a conditional use when the following sections of the Brookings County Zoning Ordinance and the Brookings County Joint Area Ordinance. Article 11, Section 11.01, A Agricultural District, Conditional Use Permit Number 20 of the Brookings County Zoning Ordinance. And Article 4, Section 405, A Agricultural District, Section 408, Special Exception Number 18, Home Extended Occupations of the Brookings County Joint Jurisdiction Area. And further finding that the granting of the conditional use will not adversely affect the public interest. Number 2, Brookings County Board of Adjustment further finds and certifies that following specific rules governing the conditional use requested have been complied with, none stated. Number 3, A, entrance and exits. Entrance and exit will use the existing driveway off 34th Avenue and overflow drop-off and pickup as needed off of 30th Street. B, off-street parking and loading areas. No on-street parking allowed, to use on-site parking. C, utility, refuse, and service areas. Dumpster service required and must dispose of animal waste in a safe manner. D, screening and buffering, none stated. E, signs, 32 square foot sign allowed. F, required yards and open spaces, none stated. G, general compatibility, comprehensive plan requirements met for the agricultural district. H, roads providing access to the property, none stated. I, required notifications, none stated. Any safety inspections, required, none stated. Number 4, the Brookings County Board of Adjustment further determines and conditions this conditional use upon the following special conditions or safeguards. Limit of 30 dogs on site at any given time. The Brookings County Board of Adjustment, by at least 2/3 vote of its full membership, hereby grants a petitioner a conditional use permit for the above described property as follows. Conditional use number 20, extended home business, and special exception number 18, home extended business, to operate a dog boarding kennel for up to the maximum of 30 dogs. This conditional use permit is specifically conditioned upon initial and continued compliance with all the requirements and conditions in 3 and 4 above, and upon compliance with all applicable provisions of the Brookings County zoning ordinance. The Brookings County zoning director, if approved, is authorized to issue any required building permits for construction consistent with the requirements of this conditional use permit. If this conditional use permit is not used within 3 years of the date granted, it shall be invalid, expiring on October 6, 2023. October 2020.
Anybody have anything to add to the findings of facts? Seeing none, Richard, would you call the roll?
Roger Erickson,
Aye.
Michael McHugh,
Aye.
Darrell Nelson,
Aye.
Darrell Kleinjohn. Aye. Kyle Vanderwall,
Aye.
Randy Jensen,
Yes.
Chad Ford.
Yes.
Motion passes. Yes, thank you.
Almost.
Agenda item number 13, department reports.
Yes, as we put on the agenda in the beginning, the next zoning meeting is scheduled for November 3rd, I believe it is, which is election night. And this place is going to be a hornet's nest. And I guess we wanted to get the board's feeling. Do we move it back a week? Do we move it to a Monday? Or I guess we're asking for suggestions. Commissioner Jensen may have some input separately. I don't know. Do you, sir?
Are they using this room or?
They're using this room for at least some of the day, yes.
They have it booked until about 5 p.m., but depending on the number of absentee ballots that they get, this is where the room that they count that in. So they're projecting or thinking will be done in time for us to meet at 7, but just in courtesy to give them a little extra room, we could move it back till 8, and they were fairly confident with that. Or within the next week, we could visit with them and see if they think it's how many ballots they're getting, if that's going to be enough time for them, and then we could,
The zoning board, we do not want to get in the way. If there's a massive amount of counting, we don't want to be responsible for kicking them out of here to start our meeting. There's going to be enough problems on election night with absentee ballots and all this other stuff.
Would there be any harm in just picking another night that week?
yes, we can check on that. I guess, did we check the availability of Monday night room? I know the city was looking at moving their meeting to Monday night. For that, we would have to work around that and see what time. I'm sure we both could meet like we do now. The city would meet, and then we would meet. And it would be with November, we meet at 7 o'clock, so the meeting time would change. So we could move it to Monday night if you would like at 7.
Or we could push it back a week.
The second would be the Monday,
Monday would be the 2nd or the
or the 10th. 10th would be the second Tuesday.
When do we start the joint meetings again?
We're looking at December.
Okay.
At the earliest, and that's according to the city and what they can do. We are gonna start working on the zoning ordinance, probably in November, at least in-house with our attorneys. We gotta get that kick-started and get that out, back to you guys, so you guys can take our meetings on that. So I would say January, February, and March, I'm hoping to have meetings, this board starting to talk about the ordinance. Because, we've got the draft copy, you guys worked on all the drafts, now we just gotta get it put through the lawyers. We're starting to work on that now, so. I'm hoping January, February, and March, and then by the time you guys get into the fields in April, we're back to the county commission dealing with it instead of the zoning board. That's on the regular zoning ordinance. The joint jurisdiction, Lord knows what's going on there. Is Luke Mueller on the phone?
I am.
Did you have any words of wisdom on the either changing the zoning meeting or the joint jurisdiction ordinance?
No, the way that I've been handling our meeting here, it really makes very little difference to me. As far as the joint jurisdiction, I know we're just kind of all waiting till we can get together, and I know that the city's got some turnover working on some things too, so I will stand by until I'm told I'm needed. But again, I'll tell you the same thing I told you last month. I'd really appreciate a full month heads up on any joint jurisdiction meeting that we're going to do.
Yeah, we talked to Mike Struck, and they're in no big rush to get that started. I can tell you we are going to start with the lawyers on all the changes we've been doing to the regular zoning ordinance. We're going to get that done by next June, so this board's going to hear it January, February, and March, sometime during that time frame.
Sounds good.
So what do you think, Mr. Chairman? That's why you get paid the big bucks, same as everyone else.
I got a raise. What's anybody think? Monday night or the following Tuesday?
Makes no difference to me.
Me either.
City's going Monday?
That's what they're gonna check on. I believe they were gonna discuss that this evening also, so.
They did a little bit, and they're looking at calendars and stuff like that. So they made no decision that I heard when I was sitting out there in the
Okay.
hallway.
What, and there's nothing currently on the agenda for November?
As of this time, no.
Well, that would make it easy then, obviously.
But we have until next Tuesday too, and that could change.
Yeah.
Well, let's go with Monday night.
We will check the availability of the room.
If
If
that
it's
works.
available, we'll go with Monday.
If we can't do Monday, is it all right if we push it back to the
If we
following?
can't do Monday, the 2nd,
Do it the 10th.
you do it the 10th.
Very good, Mr. Chairman. And other than that, we know you guys are farming. Be careful out there. The county commission appreciates what you're doing. They appreciate you coming into meetings such as this during when you're bringing your crops in. And the county commission just wants everyone to be careful, be safe out there. There's a bunch of idiots driving that don't know what the big farm equipment is anymore. And be careful, and we'll see you next month.
We'll have to check on the availability on that 10th. I don't know if the city commission meets that night or not on that evening, but
Well, if we have to,
we'll check on that. We'll check on the next available date when we
And if we have to, we'll go to room 300.
we could go. You're right, correct. So that's all that I have.
Okay, is there any need for an executive session?
No, sir.
Is there a motion to adjourn? Motion by
Second.
Erickson, second by Vanderwall. All in favor, say aye.
All right.
Motion adjourned. Meeting adjourned.
You can kill the recording before we say something stupid.
What time is it?
I don't need any more. Does it look like I need more?
That's it. Bob, are you still
I
on?
got some used
Yes.
stuff that's got pretty decent paint on it. Got a
I
person
apparently was
use it.
paying attention, thinking that you were talking about meeting that second Monday.
Nothing, Russ.
For what it's worth, I'm already kind of double booked for between 5 and 7. on that Monday, maybe
No.
as late as 7:30,
We was talking,
but I could hop on a call after that.
we was talking the second Tuesday or the first Monday.
The first Monday would be tricky for me. I would be probably a half an hour late on the call.
You got a guy named Todd Kays that could step in for you if we need you.
They could sit in there for me a half an hour.
Yes, he could.
Yeah, that's more than likely what we'd wind up doing is tag teaming for a little bit if need be. So
Do I need to
just want to give you a heads up.
Yep, do I need to contact him on that, or would you let him know for me?
Just let me know when you guys schedule it,
Okay.
and I'll do what I can to work with it. Okay,
Okay, thanks a lot, Luke.
thanks.
We'll talk to you later.
Yeah, we just looked, it is booked Tuesday night for a city council meeting on the 10th, so.
What about room over there?
That's what we'll check that out tomorrow, but she just pulled up on first glance here. There's a city council here this meeting, so stay tuned.
They might still be voting ballots the second Tuesday. We won't even know who the new president is by the second week, will we?